know that the perineum is divided into two parts. The anterior part is known as your urogenital triangle and posterior part is known as your anal triangle. We are currently talking about this anterior part, your urogenital part. So we all should know about the basic anatomical organization of how these structures are arranged. So just have a look over here. We are going to have skin that is present on the outermost surface, and after the skin we are going to have this superficial fascia. So after skin we are going to have superficial perineal fascia and deep perineal fascia. After the fascias we usually get superficial perineal pouch and deep perineal pouch, which are also known as superficial perineal spaces. Now let me tell you one thing, that these blue lines are going to denote the superficial perineal fascia. The superficial perineal fascia, and this green line is going to denote your deep perineal fascia. After this we're going to have the superficial perineal pouches, and then we're going to have the deep perineal pouches. The deep perineal pouch is denoted by this purple area. Let me tell you one thing, that this superficial perineal fascia is divided into two layers. One is going to be your fatty layer, another one is going to be your deep membranous layer. The fatty layer is it is going to enter into the anterior portion of the thigh. This fatty layer of the superficial perineal fascia is going to enter onto this anterior superficial fascia of the thigh, and it's going to continue with it. And it is also going to enter into the scrotum. It's going to enter into the scrotum, and the fat is going to be converted into a smooth muscle that is known as your dartos muscle. Whenever your dartos muscle is going to contract, it's going to increase the surface area. Right? Then we're going to talk about the deep membranous layer, which is going upwards. The deep membranous layer it goes upward and it becomes continuous with the deep membranous layer of the superficial fascia of anterior abdominal wall. And one more thing, the fatty layer is known as your Camper's fascia, and your deep membranous layer is known as your Cooley's fascia, which becomes continuous with the Scrapa's fascia over here. Now let me tell you one thing, that within the superficial perineal space, the structures which are present within the superficial perineal space, the superficial perineal pouch, are the bulb of the penis or the bulbs of the vestibule, the crura of the penis or the clitoris. There are going to be two muscles known as bulbospongiosus muscle and ischio-cavernous muscle. There are going to be some vessels known as perineal vessels as well. Now talking about the bulbospongious muscle and ischio-cavernous muscle, which can be seen onto this diagram. This is the bulbospongiosus muscle, and this is your ischio-cavernous muscle. The bulbospongiosus muscle, it is going to insert into corpus spongiosum, that is over here. This is corpus spongiosum, and this is your bulbus spongiosus muscle. The ischio-cavernous muscle is going to become continuous with the corpora cavernosum that are over here as we can see them. Right? Then moving forward and talking about the contents present within the deep perineal space, that is over here. The deep perineal pouch is present between two main structures. It is bounded superiorly by the fascia of pelvic diaphragm. Over here is the fascia of the pelvic diaphragm.